Here we are in Staunton State Park, and this is the Elk Falls Trail. COTREX is in gray, overlaid on the OpenStreetMap tiles. I'm just going to highlight that Elk Falls Trail and COTREX in red, make it a little bit more apparent. And you can see there's a discrepancy, and that is about 165 feet. I'll turn on the Strava Heatmap, and you can see that at least over the last 2 years, all the Strava users are more or less following the trail as depicted by OpenStreetMap and not the one depicted by COTREX. While we're in the neighborhood, I'm going to go up here to the north a little bit to the Chimney Rock Trail. Now this discrepancy is only about 50 feet. I usually don't get, at this stage, too worked up about discrepancies of that magnitude, but since we're in the neighborhood, I thought I'd point it out, and maybe these two can be addressed at the same time. I'll turn on the Strava Heatmap, and again it confirms that over the last 2 years, the great majority of Strava users are following the trail as depicted by OpenStreetMap. Interesting thing about this trail, if we put on the USGS 3D elevation program data hillshade, you can actually see the trail because it's cut into the hill or worn into the ground there, and that does match pretty closely with OpenStreetMap. Maybe not down here, maybe OpenStreetMap needs a little tweak there, but in through here where the greatest discrepancy is with COTREX, it does match. We are again in Staunton State Park, and this is the Bear Paw Overlook Trail number 1. At least that's what COTREX calls it. COTREX is in gray, overlaid on the OpenStreetMap tiles. I'll highlight the particular trail we're talking about in red. And you can see there's the discrepancy, and that's about 65 feet. If I turn on the Strava Heatmap, you can see that that supports the OSM location. We are still in Staunton State Park, and this is the West Meadows Loop. COTREX is in gray. I'll just highlight that, and it's overlaid on the OpenStreetMap tiles. You can see we have a discrepancy here, and that's about 95 feet. If I turn on the Strava Heatmap, you can see that at least over the last 2 years, we have a lot of people, a lot of Strava users following the trail as depicted by OpenStreetMap, and at least on this little section here of COTREX, here's no Strava users traveled there. I put on some imagery from Bing, and you can see the trail here, and then kind of disappears in the canopy. We can see a little bit of it reappear down there before joining the alignment here. I've noticed there's been a lot of updates to trails in this park recently, in the data anyway, and that's great news. So I just wanted to show you something using the actual COTREX web map, that yes, the web map still depicts the trail here where the GIS data shows it. I've been told that the GIS data that's publicly available is only released infrequently. It might be 6 months or a year. So in the meantime, often corrections are made, but I want to make sure that this feedback applies to COTREX as it exists right now. So what you see on the screen is both OSM and the COTREX, and I'm just going to slide back and forth so you can see that indeed the web map, COTREX web map, matches the GIS data that I have overlaid on OpenStreetMap. This is Dines Wall climbing access, and COTREX is in gray, overlaid on OpenStreetMap. Just highlight the COTREX so it's a little bit more apparent. And you can see we have a discrepancy, and that is about 105 feet. And if I turn on the Strava heat map, you can see that indeed, at least over the last 2 years, nearly 100% of the Strava users are traveling on the trail as depicted by OpenStreetMap, and it doesn't look like anyone's traveling on this little section of COTREX. I think this down here is noise from people traveling on this trail. And then we have another smaller discrepancy up here.